Hi, hello, happy Sabbath and Shabbat Shalom. Well, not a lot got done this week. One thing happened is Mom and I repotted some plants. These plants were in this tray, as well as a couple others. And those plants might have been in there, I really don't remember. This thing's finally deciding to regain a little consciousness and not die, although its sibling has died. Potatoes are still alive, not doing super well, but they're still alive. It's getting hotter and they probably aren't too happy with that, and so they might die from the heat in here. Some of Mom's other plants, she repotted this, I believe, from the, no, that one was, well, I mean, she did repot it, but I was thinking it came from that other repotting over here. I think that one may be somewhere else. I still haven't taken my avocados out. I'm not sure I will now that I think about it. They seem to be right there. Oh, there it is, right here. This one, I think, was the one she repotted out of that same tray. We found genuine seeds from a wandering Jew. That one over there had a flower that had actually turned into actual seeds. So we have an experiment. We have put some seeds in here to see if they will germinate. If so, great. If not, well, at least we know. Because, I mean, you can keep propagating them forever anyhow because of the fact that you just put a cutting in and they'll grow practically anywhere. Mom's three-color petunia over there is pretty happy. The geranium, though, still hasn't flowered since we got it. What it takes to make it flower, I don't know. A large number of the marigolds that she bought, if not all of them, died. These are repotted aloe vera from that same pot over there. This had other plants in it, but they proceeded to die, so she just repurposed it, and that's all fine. So it'll grow full of aloe veras too here after a while. Which is fine. I mean, we'll just propagate them like crazy. These mother-in-law's tongues, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, were all up there. And I don't remember there being 2, but she found 5, and one of them has a baby on it, or one or two of them have babies on them. I don't know if she got this as such, and when I wasn't looking, or exactly what, but she's got this one, and she's got that one up there, and I keep forgetting what they're called. But anyhow, they're growing. She's asking me if I should put that outside. I really should. I should put that outside during the summer. Just because they get better, stronger, faster in under the drip awning. So these are some of the aloe veras that she has found were already separated, and she's got them in water. We've got some I took some willow branches and peeled the bark and the leaves and kind of minced it up, put it in a gallon jar up in here. It's not visible, but it's over there, for rooting compound, rooting hormone. So hopefully we'll get a lot of things to root in faster. These right here are a bunch of little nodules that should be able to be rerouted. They're from that same bunch that those were just all, they'd grown to the point where they terminated and hung off of there. In other words, they apparently the vines will only grow so long, and after they grow so long, there's raindrop. They just stop growing and they turn into little nodules to be babies, and then those babies hopefully find something to grow in before they die in place. Our 6 strawberry plants have been, well, making a few strawberries. Not a million of them, but none of them. So, and they're probably getting more water than they should, and less sun than they should, but they're doing alright, I think, for now. Her little alpanera plant has some, well, additional growth. Her citronella plants are still here alive. She got some more. We'll go up there and look at them after a bit. Over here, you see white oak nibbling on Candy's collar. White oak being Chestnut's baby. He's I don't know, a week or so old now, something like that. A little older than a week, but not a lot. There's a rototiller up there on top of the thing. Rototiller, what you doing? Here's your rototiller. Now all the boys are getting weathered this year, and from now on out, basically because of economic and financial issues, but also because of space constraints. Yes, snippy snap, dinner. So these, my hope is when I get this field fenced properly, to keep the boys out. I could keep the girls in it pretty easily, but keeping the boys out of it is the hard part. So we'll go around and look at that here in just a moment. We'll go through here, and we can do that primarily because even if the boys are in here, I know the light's not on. It'll turn on, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to go out the other side. It's just faster than walking all the way around. This thing's flooded all the way up, even with the grill in place. I put some Rid-X in the pipe. Hopefully it'll reduce the total amount of manure buildup in there and free it up so it'll flow better. Since it's not directed into a septic tank, it's just directed right into the leach lines. Nice growth here, partly because there aren't any babies really on it, although the boys come out here now and then and do browse through it. And they bite tops off of stuff on a semi-regular basis. They just bite the tops off, pretty much. Did they knock the water out? No, the water's still flowing. Alright. I have to check every now and then because mosquitoes will grow in it if I don't. Alright, so over here, I've got some fence posts. I got that gate put up, well, not super long ago, and it's anchored to the scaffold through that 4x4, and pretty much there to keep the boys out from this end. You know, that's its general purpose for being there, because otherwise they'll get in there and tear stuff up. This looks like somebody, either the boys or the groundhogs, took a little more off of this mysterious plant. Can't really fault them. It is edible and it is not guarded. Again, it's either it's something like a mustard or a radish or a turnip or something. Tastes pretty good. Very mild. Oh, I see Mr. O'Malley over there. I don't know if I can get him in the shot before he bolts. There he is. He's way over there in another field, in the other pen. Anyhow, so what all I've really done over here, I've gathered up some T-posts for the next stages of this. Notice all these straps. Let me get my gloves up because if it rains on them, they'll be miserably wet. These straps are to pull this tight so that hopefully I can get it all stapled up there at some point. And the clamps are loose because they've been using sharing clamps and straps and clamps to tighten that up. And in the meantime, while I'm not physically working on it, it's actually, there is one thing, it's relaxing. Because as you see, it's wrinkled real bad down here. Realistically, now you will see they come from the factory with a little stretch to them, a little divot in them. and that is to give them a bit of stretch, and it's factory engineered, but generally not as severe as this gnarled up stuff. And what happens is that draws the wire tighter initially, but then when it relaxes, it gets looser. And that's really suboptimal. In other words, this is far from the best way to do it. So my goal here is going to be to anchor it on here, this point. And when I get it anchored right here, then I'll worry about the next step, because that'll hold tight. Then over there I have to raise that up too. But this part, one reason I'm not going to cut it, besides the fact that it'll still be part of this fence right now, is because when I do come back in here, I want to be able to take this and just turn basically 90 degrees through there. So I don't want to cut that. I want to leave that intact. My goal will be, and if I don't fail at it, is right in here to put a post. Because this tree is going to go whether I want it to or not, because it's dead. You know, it's dead, so it's going to go away, and you can't keep it from doing it. I can't. Somebody could. Oh, Mr. O'Malley and Mr. Snookums decided to come over here and see if I had goodies or not. You see, that tree has all them branches that fell off of it for the same reason. It's dead. Eventually, that tree will probably end up dying too, in which case, now see, I'm planning on completely bypassing it though, which is going to be pretty tricky, but I plan on lining up from that tree to that fence post. Let me see if I can get it into the, find the corner. There we go, all the way to that corner right there. And by doing that, that corner is a pressure treated post. It's a 4x6 and it's in concrete. And so all I have to do is get a line through here, which I'll do with my laser, and I'll build an extension. I'll set a post out there, then I will tie in that rail of wire, well, that too, rail of wire and wood, across there to it. And then all this stuff will be built the very same way. And I'm going to have to get myself some more timber for that because, well, I don't have really enough. So makes me wonder, ain't that timber going to rot eventually? Probably. I do need to go in there and spray it down with some linseed oil. Right now, Mr. O'Malley can get on that rock right there and jump over that fence. And I've watched him do it. He gets up on that rock and he comes right over right here. Now, I don't know what wore that down, unless they were just up there trying to get something, you know, reach up over the fence. Probably, yeah, I see some chewing on this elm tree, so they probably just stood up on it and rode it down trying to get to that elm tree. And you say, well, why didn't he just go over like he did before? Because, well, it is a lot more work to go over even that leaning fence. That's the other part of it. That fence leans real bad because it's all worn out. Right here, another reason I want to drive through here is that it's got this big gaping hole. And that's not going to be good because it keeps draining all the material out of the field. In other words, erosion. So I pretty much want to get this all blocked off and dammed up with some rocks. Basically a retaining wall. Kind of like I started over here. This was not meant to be permanent, by the way. Never was. This was never intended to be a permanent retaining wall. It just happened to be it was here longer than it should have. So the reason it's all apart is because I've been pulling it apart. And for the loose blocks, the other blocks that aren't loose, you know, they're coming apart. And they're not loose because I had, even though it was temporary, I put some dry cement in it and let the rain toughen it up. Besides, I need those landscape timbers and those rebars too. So when I'm done with all this mess, this dead tree, that big dead tree, this little dead tree, that dead tree, and that dead tree, that not yet dead tree, that dead tree, all these trees in here are going to have to go away because they're going to fall on fences eventually. Now, poor little, I feel sorry for this poor little persimmon in here, and they've pretty much stripped all my protective wiring off of it and started eating the bark on it. Now, I'm going to have to really put a protective barrier around it for real. I got this feed box to put up, which will go pretty much right where that one plank at the top is going. It'll be bolted to it. I got to build a retaining wall in here, as I call it, a pony wall. This will all be concreted in, and then there'll be either another pony wall here or a piece of solid fence of some kind or something. This destroyed cedar post will come out, and there'll be something much more substantial. Of course, all the branches will be pulled off of it, and it'll need all new sheet tin because that sheet tin is obliterated. The timber's still good enough, I think, but the sheet metal on top of it is completely wasted. That tree is just about dead. It'll probably end up being cut out of there before this is all over with too. And you see they knocked that, let me go around that side just because why. And then I don't have a fence in the way of what I'm pointing at. Now that's a bunch of slime and yuck you don't want to step in. Not that you really want to step in this either. I will eventually put a permanent light fixture in here, not just one dangling through the plastic like that. Looks like it's starting to suffer some damage over here. They're not designed to last forever. Unfortunately, nothing from China is. It's part of their whole grand design. So, yeah, Mr. Snookums climbed this one time, and in the process of multiple climbs that may have been, put it this way, it may have been more than one time, it got knocked out, so I have to eventually put that back in here. I'll put some 5-inch screws in there instead of those 3-inch ones. I didn't have any 5-inch screws at that time. And other things will happen, because eventually I plan on running this line straight across, or if not this line right here, then right here specifically, straight across over here to subdivide this, and that'll be where these two boys will be, and any other breeding males. And then to simplify my process, any male that's not meant for breeding will be castrated, and therefore that won't be a problem. Over here, again, no, I have not done any further work this week at all on the well house and well foundation project because, well, pun intended, rain, the welder isn't working, and I've been sick. I haven't been getting much anything done other than that fence wire you saw me pointing at. That's about all I did, other than help Mom move some plants. And we'll come up there and look at the plants here in just a second. Mr. O'Malley, what you doing? Yes, Mr. O'Malley, Boschman, how you doing? And you see that pile of loose branches there? That was part of this tree here recently. Therefore, it fell down. I noticed it after somebody stopped in the middle of the way. There's Mr. Snookums up there, taking advantage of the height given by my 7 tons of free timber, which I'll have to sawmill down eventually, get some good poles and stuff out of. Anyhow, so it fell down right here, busted into pieces, and somebody had to stop and move it out of the way so they could go on home, or out, either way, whether they go in or out, it was in the road. And so, that's understandable. That is another tree that'll have to be brought down. This tree died, it'll have to come down too. Again, I like to get them down before they turn into dirt so I can turn them into timber. But I'm just not in a position right now to do anything with them. Especially since they hold up fences and stuff. I was going to point out that there was some more of that like mustardy looking stuff there in the field. Since we're up here, I don't know if I can zoom in on it. In amongst the dock's highly visible, but if I look, let me see if I can aim at it. There it is. It's hard to see even in zoom, possibly even especially in zoom, because my hand shakes. Anyhow, amongst the dock's edible. It's part of the buckwheat plant family, and this other stuff that I'm seeing is edible. And it's part, like I say, part of the mustard family or something like that. And then there's also some poke growing up in here, which I don't know how well it'll do because it's an annual, I mean a perennial, but it could end up getting killed by the goats, in which case it wouldn't come back. The dock's technically a perennial also, but they'll wipe it out if you leave them in there with it. Of course, the Considering the fact how barren this has been over the years, this is the best it's ever been since I've ever been here. They bit the tops off of a couple of the tiger lilies, but they haven't really done a whole lot of harm to the greater amount of them. My latest potato seems to be doing pretty good at the moment. It even has a, I don't know if that's the original tuber it grew out of or what. Mom put her cucumber vines in finally, and they are fruiting. And there's a basil, and there is, somewhere over there is a red cotton plant. This thing is losing flowers anywhere the rain touches them, but so far where the rain hasn't touched them, they may still put on fruit, I hope. Because my sincerest hope is that it'll eventually bear grapes. I brought out her little John Deere butt lifter, little mini wagon thingy. She doesn't use it very often, but she likes it. So there's a tomato plant there. These two are still in their pot. Probably need to be watered. They're getting a little dry. Yep, they're getting dry. I'm going to set this down in here. Yeah, she hasn't watered them in a minute, and so I don't know if this one has a drain or not. It does. Reached around the wrong side of the grapevine. So we'll put them in there so they'll hydrate some. They can be pulled out later. Anyhow, one marigold's surviving so far. Most of them have died. I think there might be a marigold over here because she has one of the other tomato plants that she put in here. Now one might say, well, aren't the ghosts going to eat the tomato plant? Technically they could. Statistically, odds are strong against it because being part of the nightshade family and full of nicotine like tobacco and potatoes are, they probably won't touch it. Odds are they will. They might sniff it now and then, but it is a very poisonous plant. I know we eat tomato fruits and we eat potato tubers, but that part, thankfully, isn't poisonous. That's why we can eat it. This climbing tea rose, still flowering. I must have just thought it was flowering earlier in the year. Oh, the one of the yucca plants that was flowering, they have decided to eat part of it. So it's got glumps chomped out of it by one of the two boys. They've eaten some of the branches off the apple tree, probably some apples as well. Given time, they'll eat anything out here that suits their fancy at the moment. You see where they ate some of the persimmon the leaves off this persimmon tree. Stripped it down some. It's alright. It's kind of more of a weed than a piece of wood. They haven't gotten to this yucca plant yet, but give them time and they will. Just pretty much count on it. I don't know if they'll eat horse mint or not. Looks like they might. Either that or that's a sunflower. And I missed because I felt the stem and this one's got fuzzy on it. I don't know that they'll, let's go over here and see if they eat. Sunflowers are highly desirable. Yeah, this is a horse mint. When I feel it, it's smooth stemmed. Now see, it's got flowers about to open up. I want to pick this just about the time the flowers open up. Mainly because of the fact that the odds are that's when I'll get the most leaf off of it. If I'm not sick and it's not unbearably bad, I will. Now we got some yellow-eyed Susans coming out over here. And of course, yellow alfalfa. That's yellow-eyed Susan. This too is part of the sunflower family. Of course, as you see, the echinacea, aka purple coneflower, is filling out quite nicely. We've had so much rain this year; it's really done wonders for the flowers. The only thing it hasn't benefited was the flower's ability to survive Mr. O'Malley and Mr. Snookums. They haven't been goat-proofed by the rain. So when them two boys come through here, they eat as much as they want. Over there, I can zoom in on the flowers over there. I'm not going to go very far today. I don't feel good. I've been sick all week and I'm tired right now. I just want to get down here. So I have done absolutely nothing in the shop, so there's nothing in there to report on this week, unfortunately. I wish there were something to report on, but not yet. And see, there was some bigger sunflowers, and they bite the tops off of them. They really love them sunflowers. There's some really tall sunflowers growing out here before, and they also eat Queen Anne's lace, which is part of the carrot family. Assassin bug on that one. There's a couple of them over here that haven't been denuded of their flowers somehow, but they've been through here. You can see their hoof prints and the way I've watched them stand up there and devour them all off. A couple of them here, in fact, they almost look green-eyed. I don't know if they'd be considered a Susan, but they're a sunflower. And, well, they'll grow 5 to 6 feet tall, provided a goat doesn't eat the tops off of them. But a goat's been eating the tops off of them, so I don't know that they'll get that high. Now, somewhere around here, I think I've taken pictures of before, there are some black-eyed Susans. Some of our foxgloves, larkspurs, there's some fleabane daisies. By the way, daisies, part of the Astraceae family, turns out, and they're related to lettuce, milkweeds, giant lettuce, opium lettuce, all part. In other words, the aster family. Our one, it's not open right now. If I'd have done this in the morning time, our one bachelor button, aka, oh, I forget what this stuff's called. Chicory. That's it. I wanted to say Chickasaw. Yeah, the chicory plant came back, I guess. I don't know if it's biennial or perennial, but or else that's a seedling from previous chicory. But anyhow, it's growing over there. I thought it was a perennial. I don't know what these are, but Mom said they're part of the clover family. And since I don't know what they are, I can't say. Pretty, but I don't know what they are. I was saying there was some black-eyed Susans. And, yeah. Not a lot. They didn't come up that well this year. Somewhere along here should be some foxgloves, I thought. Boys shouldn't eat them, they're poisonous. There's another touch-me-not, only it's white, not fuchsia. Yeah, either it flowered and done its thing, or they may have eaten it, but that doesn't make sense since they are poisonous. And there's these little mints that they don't seem to be interested in. And then more of them. And these little flowers, whatever they are. It's pretty much everything we've got growing up at the moment. My brain went dead. Well, of course, the wild strawberries have finished blooming. The golden clover is growing. Well, I can't think of it all of a sudden. Oh, the verbena is going kind of calm, mostly dormant, and it's hard to find out there. I don't know if they eat the verbena or not, but they've been eating the crap out of that poor little Rose of Sharon there, so it's having a hard time of it, but they haven't chewed too many branches off, so still alive. I have a suspicion that my ashing of this tree has yet to bear, well, pun intended, fruit, since it's a peach tree. But I mean, I just think that because what I'm up against is the water coming down the hill, so soaked with acid, and this ground is so porous that it gets down deeper in the ground than the ash can that I sprinkle around it. And so that I'd have to like ash the whole world practically upstream of it to keep it from having an acid issue. Now the latest leaves on there were clearing up somewhat, we're turning back green from red, but still not super healthy looking. This thing, they've chewed on it a lot. I don't know if I mentioned before, but I do actually have 2 hazelnut seedlings. They bit the top off that and it's already come back. And then, either they're seed, yeah, this one had a seeder on it too. And that's the only reason I knew it was a seedling, is because I found an actual seed husk. So 2 hazelnuts fell to the ground and germinated there, and ta-da! I still haven't done anything to the tractor. Still got dirty oil in the filter, and I need to yank all the oil out of it, clean the filter, and put it all back in and run it a couple more times that way. Booger for me. Anyhow, so that's pretty much the short version of it. Short of me running at a dead run and saying look, 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 and having nothing to show for it. Again, down there are some. I could go down there, I suppose. Let's see if there are any cherries. You know, there are a couple cherries. They're getting either eaten or cast faster than they'll ever ripen. And when they do ripen, they'll be completely obliterated real quickly by birds and squirrels. So we won't get any cherries from them, unfortunately. And besides, you need like 50,000 of them to have much of anything, because they're so small and they're mostly seed. They taste pretty good, especially when they get a little extra juicy, but only if you like really tart fruit, which I do. I want to see if I can see any larkspur before I wrap this up, because I thought I saw some somewhere around here, but I'm not for sure exactly where now. So I'm they have been down here before, but I don't remember where I saw them. It seems I see them in different places. In other words, you'll see them in one place and then you turn around and they'll be somewhere else. And you're like, well, how did they get there? Well, birds carry their seeds, pretty much. And rain. But, yeah, I don't see them. That's fine. I did, before my hydraulics went wonky on me, I did try to put some rock in this wash, and some of it worked. Now this is what I was trying to fix and fill up for the people before my machine quit working right. The stupid road scratching patch guy come through here and tore all the base rock out just when they needed it most. And so I have 2 options. One, file complaints with the county, which will probably fall on deaf ears. Or 2, come out here and fix this myself. Realistically, I need to come in here with my track loader and gouge this real deep and fill it up with base rock. And again, somebody said, well, where are you going to get all that base rock from? And I got mountains of it around here that they kept scraping off the road. It's all this stuff you see on the sides. I tried scraping some base rock off right there. Didn't quite get it in the middle of the road. All this stuff on the sides of the road right now should be in the middle of that road. That road badly needs this heavy, chunky base rock. I moved those rocks there out into the road for the express purpose of reinforcing the flimsy point in the road where all that soft clay is. Is it a perfect cure? No. But it's much improved over what the county's left these poor people with. So they've left them with a massive slime pit. So, which isn't fair to the people who are paying taxes for nothing, because they're not getting any good road coverage repair. I got better roads up here though, because I'm on, well, base rock. When I say bedrock, really. I'm on top of shale here, you know, just an inch or 2 below this gravel that we're walking on. It's this stuff. And this stuff takes a long time to weather, lasts practically forever, and it doesn't shift until it completely disintegrates into clay. So, and my big old pile of timber, nigh end to gone. So I'm going to have to get myself some more timber so I can finish my fields and fences and buildings. Even though there is some under there and it's bigger timber, this is the fencing timber here. And then I got that split stuff, but it's kind of, I don't know what I'll end up doing with it. I just don't want to throw it away in case I can find something to do with it. You know, waste not, want not. So yeah, that's I guess you that's the short version of what little's been going on around here. So I will post another report next Sabbath. Shalom, everybody.